So we'll start from the financial management and objectives. So the objective of any company is to make profits. Financial management can be defined as the management of finances of an organization in order to achieve the financial objectives of the organization. So what are the financial objectives of our organization? So a company predominantly stands for profit maximization, wealth maximization, gearing ratio, profit retention, and operating profitability. So it is the responsibility of the CFO to ensure that the strategy of the company works in achieving these targets also. So every company has its own unique financial objectives. So some companies give preference for profit, gearing, and profit retention. Some companies give wealth maximization, gearing, and operating profitability. So each and every company has its own financial objectives, but any financial objective it has to match with the strategy of the company here. When compared to the profit maximization and wealth maximization, most companies have chosen the wealth maximization as their predominantly financial objective. So the objective of a private sector organization is to maximize shareholders' wealth. So these are the interrelated aspects of financial management decisions. So as a CFO, he has to think in terms of how to play with the concept of money within the company. So he can get financing from outside of the company. He can get it through retained earnings. He can borrow. He can issue equity shares. Through this manner, he could get the financing for the company. That financing can be invested within the company in terms of buying a machinery, buying a factory, going for an acquisition. So those things are called as the investment part of the company. And as and when you keep on investing in a business, the business at one point of time starts to yield return. So that profit can be either given out as dividend or it can again be reinvested. So this becomes a circle. So either you can use the dividend or you can reinvest it. So if you give out it as a dividend, the money is like permanently moves out to the equity shareholders. So the CFO's main job is to somewhere juggle these three options. So whichever is optimal option, he has to go for that. In some years, he might cut out the dividend and go for reinvesting. In some years, he might stop the investing and go for dividend. Or even in some years, he might stop investing and repay the finance. So something where he would have borrowed, they would have paid back, or the equity shares would have been bought back. So it is a concept where the CFO keeps juggling all these activities. So investment can be in terms of purchase of a new machine, construction of a factory, working capital needs, merger or acquisition. Finance can be in terms of long-term capital like debt or equity or retained earnings. So the company can either go for issuing dividends or not. So you can pause this video and read this area by yourself. So we will see how this actually works in reality. The concept of financing, investing, and dividend decisions. We'll see how it works. This company, as you can see, we have a chart from 2006 all the way to the year 2000, I think it's 17. So you have a lengthy chart of 10 years. This company's share price in around 2008 was something like maximum 100 rupees, and now the company's share price is around 1250. So in a period of 10 years, it has raised around 13 times. So 13 times this, if you have invested 100 rupees in this company, it would have become 1300 rupees today. So this is the wealth creation of the company. It's a very good company, and let's see how it has worked out the financial management aspect. So if you could see here, the company's sales have been like 1465 in March 2002. It's steadily increasing year on year. And in March 2007, it has been 10 times what the sales was. We will see what happens to the profit. So sales has increased by 10 times. Let's see what happens to profit. Profit is at 105. It keeps on increasing. And it has gone to 1900. So profit has increased by 20 times. So that is a huge thing. When sales is increasing by 10 times and profit increases by 20 times, it is something like astonishing. So the company is not only increased its profit by way of higher sales, it is also selling higher value products or higher margined products. And look at the dividend. The dividend payout seems to be always at 50% of whatever profit they make. Somewhere it was like 38, so averagely it's around some 45-40%. But either way, we can assume that half the money that they have earned is given as dividend. So they are a good dividend paying company. And let's see the reserves. The share capital is 63 and today it is at 95. It's not a huge increase. Sales increased 10 times, profit increased 20 times, but share capital has not increased a lot. Reserves were 342. Let's see what happens to the reserves. It's increasing. It's increased to a huge amount. Look at the number. It's increased 20 times. So it is like corresponding with the profit number. Let's look at the borrowing. It was 142. Has borrowing increased? Yes, borrowings increased maximum by 3 times. Okay. We'll discuss why borrowings increased by 3 times. Even though this company seems to be having a huge amount of money, why this company is still borrowing, we'll discuss later. But you get a fair idea. This company had 500 of total worth of funds, but now it has 8,500 worth of funds, and predominantly they are a cash generating company. So where they have put this money? Let's see. The assets were 400. Now the assets are at 3,300. So of the 7,500, they've also put in assets, and they've also invested in other assets. Other assets can be investments or buying or acquisition of merger. It could have been that. So predominantly you can find out, you can see how the financing, the investing, the dividend are like working in this example. So this is about the company Asian Paints. So you can type it on the internet and find for yourself. So this is about the stakeholders and their financial objectives. There are like many stakeholders with the company, and each stakeholder wants some kind of a financial objective. For example, employees need salary, managers need salary and bonus, directors need salary, bonus and employee stock option plan, shareholders want higher share price, profit growth, they want dividends, debt holders want interest and also the safe return of their capital, suppliers want prompt payment of bills, government wants prompt payment of taxes and also following their any other penalties or fines that they levy. So these are what the stakeholders want in terms of financial aspects from a company.